already know who it is. It's your boy Rise here with another podcast. uh, and today I got my man's famed ENT. Say what's up to my peoples.
What's going on, the Rise and Grind community? It's your boy Fame Entertainment.
And I also got my friend Kingsman 2K.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Kingsman 2K. I just chilling with my family here.
And originally I tried to do this last night, but I could just trying to round people up. It got a little difficult, so I'm actually missing a few people, but it's all good. As promised, I told you guys I wanted to talk about the Xbox hardware because I feel like it's a lot of stuff that they just cannot mention um, as far as the hardware because of marketing reasons. And my man Kingsman got a little more proof behind that. And can you first of all, Kingsman, can you tell them exactly what you do?
I'm a government contractor. I'm in the field about information technology, and I basically administrate over a data center for a DoD agency, and I basically maintain the servers for them and all that good stuff. Anything go wrong with them, I fix it, and do all that good stuff. So I'm officially a system administrator. That's what they call it. But
Okay.
that's what I do for a living.
Chill.
Yeah.
So I take it you know a little thing or two about hardware.
Yeah, I know a little bit of something about hardware and software.
And so the other day we had a little real rich conversation over Xbox Live. We was talking about the Xbox and it's not using its full potential. Now you want to talk about that a little bit? Like, what do you think as far as hardware? Like, exactly what is what's the capabilities and what it has in store for the future?
Well, as far as let's first start out with, and I like to start out with even in my other videos. I made a video series talking about whether the PS4 is more powerful than Xbox. I use a lot of facts and articles. If you want to check that out, you can go to my page, Kingsman2K, on YouTube, and search that out, and then you can get in the nitty gritty. But as far as uh, just the quick and dirty of it, I think that you first got to start out with the launch of the Xbox One and how that initiated and why it seemed everything that came out when the Xbox One came out seemed kind of rushed.
It's your boy Rise here with another
And
podcast.
Double take.
yeah, with everything seemed kind of rushed with the Xbox One, and the reason why that was is because like everybody know, they were trying to meet the demand as far as trying to compete with Sony as far as they want to lose that year. They want to get the year head start off of Sony as far as trying to let them come out first and gain some momentum. But I tended to disagree with that strategy. I think they should have just went ahead and waited to this year and launched, and I think it would have been a lot stronger. But if you look at the Xbox, I mean, just looking at the Xbox and the hardware itself, whenever you opened your Xbox One for the first time, you took that plastic off, everything on it is digital. There's no real analog anything on it if you take a look at it, hardware-wise. And that's purposeful. Everything with Microsoft, as far as hardware, software, has ecosystem in mind. And the main reason why everything it transpired that way is because they're trying to stretch out the generation out to about 10, I'd say 10 to 12 years.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
If you notice the Xbox 360, they're still making games for it. It's in the ninth year of a generation, and they probably won't stop making games for it until next year. As you heard from Ubisoft, they're gonna start making game for it in 2015. So that'll make it what 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
They're trying to stretch it out the same with this generation because the amount of money they are making on the hardware, they're making money off the jump. I think the estimates as far as how much they're making off the Xbox One, I think it's like $41 per system or something. And that's purposeful because they lost a lot of money last generation, both Sony and Xbox. Sony because of the fact that the hardware was so expensive, and Xbox because of Rare Ring of Death. So they're both of their strategies are, hey, let's just make money off the jump. We can make it technologically powerful, but yet at the same time be smart, make money off of it. So that's why you see them going to make the switch back to the PC architecture as opposed to creating a whole different architecture.
And that's that 86, right?
Right, x86 PC architecture. Yeah, that's what you get in PCs. But what they've done is, as far as Xbox is concerned, whereas Sony went all the way out with it, as far as using like PC parts and stuff, Xbox decided to still do a little customization, and with that, they decided to put this little deal called ESRAM or it's embedded SRAM into the chipset. That's more or less going to make it a little bit more. It's going to give it a little bit more oomph. But the problem is, like you see with developers now, they're having a hard time dealing with it because they don't know how to program for it.
Now, Kingsman now I've been seeing a lot now. They're saying that the ESRAM itself is the problem, but it's the size. Kind of, does that make any sense to you? Like,
well,
first they were saying ESRAM was a complete bottleneck. Now you get developers come out and say, well, the ESRAM is fine. It's just the size of the ESRAM, like the amount we can actually use, is the problem, not the ESRAM itself.
Well, mainly it's foreign to them because in the 360 you had EDRAM, embedded DRAM, in the 360, and it was more known, it was more used, and for that time it was you're able to do more as far as they were able to program for it better. With SDRAM, ESDRAM, RAM or whatever, it's new, fresh technology. It kind of functions the same way, but it's a lot faster with a lot more bandwidth. But the thing is, the way they implemented it, it's going to channel between both the CPU and the GPU to where the CPU and the GPU can communicate directly to it and store information directly to it, and there's really no software outside of Microsoft's own SDKs. There's 12 that can help them make the process easier. So what they're doing, they're defaulting to the DDR3 RAM that's in the the system RAM that's on the Xbox One to make the games. Now, these SDKs are going to be more important to helping them really use the capability of ESRAM because it's really not a bottleneck issue. It's more or less, how do I store my information temporarily with using this stuff, because the ESRAM is almost functioning like the way it's so high bandwidth, it almost functioning like 8 gigs, additional 8 gigs of RAM in a sense. So it functions like an additional 8 gigs. So it's almost like you got 16 gigs of RAM functioning. As far as you got 8 gigs. Well, I mean, it's like 8 gigs of RAM, but it's more like cache RAM in a sense.
Yeah.
So they can the CPU and GPU can just temporarily store their stuff into this, along with the other processors in the system can store their stuff, but it's a matter of how they do it and how they can get the performance out of it. And that's the problem they're having. They haven't gotten the full capabilities of the SDKs, and once DirectX 12 comes out, they'll be able to more meticulously get the performance that they want out of ESRAM.
Right.
So
yeah, man. It's like, I mean, everything you says makes sense because, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that this console, it really seems like it's not built for now. It's built to last 10, 11 years.
It is.
Yeah, even the point at the size of people say, oh, it's a VCR. But if you look at how big it is. You see at the top half of it is open to let air come through so it can breathe. I mean, and on top of that, you know, they want us to use it as a cable box and everything else. So it's pretty much built to be on 24/7,
Yeah.
7 days a week for
Exactly.
10 straight years. It's like everything they did was to make this console future proof.
Exactly, and that's why DirectX 12 is so important because with DirectX 12, it's gonna reduce the load on the CPU and make it more efficient and save energy as well. Because
So
right
it's
now,
so
go
it's
ahead.
only using one CPU right now.
Well, it's only using like I heard one core.
One core. I'm sorry, that's what I
Yeah.
meant to
No,
say.
no,
Okay.
no. Well, no, that's cool. It's cool. I mean, that's mainly. I mean, it's using like because it's 8 core system, so it's using half of that. It's using like 4 cores, but I think it's using one core mainly for games, and it's being programmed that way because until they get the SDKs up, and then also with DirectX 12 come on, it's going to open it all the way up.
It's
You
going
know,
to spread it across the
it's going to split it
A4.
across, right. It's going to split across the 8 cores. Right now, they're just only using 4. So yeah, that's the main, well, in a sense, problem that they're having right now. Um, but
So,
once
so,
they
so
go ahead.
you still believe they should have waited because they wouldn't have these many issues if they'd have waited to bring it out this
Exactly.
holiday season instead of rushing it out because they won't be behind the sales.
Right. Because just think about it like this: if it would came out this holiday season, they would have learned from the Sony launch, as well as gotten a lot more feedback about what they were trying to do. Because what you got to realize is what people was tripping out about the whole always on, online check-in, all that
DRM
stuff
and
like
all that.
that, DRM,
Those both
all
consoles.
those both consoles, and that was what people don't realize. And also, there were see the Xbox was not really trying to compete necessarily with Sony this generation. It was trying to compete with Valve and the Steam
Mm-hmm.
because Steam is kicking both their butts as far as developers and what they want in games and trying to get games on the platform. Steam is really doing it, and they know that's the future. Steam is the future. If
Yeah,
games are going to survive, they have to adopt a Steam-like platform for consoles.
yeah, man. I honestly believe that the DRM is the future of gaming. I mean, as much as people hate it and
Right.
don't want it,
Right.
I mean that's what's coming. And
Yeah,
and you know, you're
but if,
completely right about. I'm sorry, Ross.
no, go ahead.
You're completely right. If they'd have waited and came out this year, then
Mhm.
Sony would have had the PR nightmares when they came out and said DRM
Right.
always on.
Right.
They would have had the hate going
Exactly.
towards them because Microsoft has it now, which is unfair because
Right.
when the moment Microsoft made that announcement, and people got mad. Sony rewrote their entire E3 script. They was
Hmm.
like, "Oh hell no!" So I think Microsoft would have benefited a lot coming out this holiday season.
Exactly. Because they
I,
was actually built to compete. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry, man.
no, I was just saying like the way the DRM was implemented, that was the problem. Like I
Yeah.
think if they both would have competed, it would have been more like a battle of each other's policies. Because when you look
Yeah.
at Xbox policies, it was like, oh, you got to check in, every 24 hours. Now, picture this: you about to go lay up with your honey. You like, hold on, baby, I got to check in.
Yeah.
Like,
But I don't think it would have functioned
the
that way.
girl, no, my Xbox, boo.
Yeah.
What?
It wouldn't necessarily function that way. It would have been seamless. You wouldn't have known it because I mean the reality is we always have our Xbox cut on and on the internet.
Right,
So it would have just like with the smart glass app, we could just go and buy stuff and it automatically show up. I mean, we
right,
would have to have an internet connection at all times in order to kind of do that functionality, but we really don't think about that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just the problem with Microsoft, which is another issue with them, is they are so far ahead of their time. It's a blessing and a curse.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they thought about this and they really implement everything all up front, even for the transition over to like 4K and also even to cable cutters. You know what I'm saying? And doing that type of thing. You see with the whole digital tuner and everything like that. Coming out. They had all this stuff planned out. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But
Yeah.
yeah,
the
yeah,
problem is The problem is they don't know how to explain their futuristic ideals to people, you know? So that's why people are kind of like, what? What? TV? What? You know,
Right.
because they don't know how to necessarily really convey it, just like, you know, how Apple, the only difference, the reason why Apple is so successful is not because they're so um, able to really be so futuristic. It's just they have the ingenuity and they have timing. You,
Right.
you got to remember when Apple came out with the iPhone, smart. It was feature phones that we had just got feature phones with color.
Yeah.
Flip phones with a color screen. We were tripping out the color screen. Oh man, we got the color screen. We can able, you know what I'm saying, to do stuff and see in color on
Right.
these flip phones. So Steve Jobs was like, oh cool, let me go ahead and you know what I'm saying. Then you got to remember by that time Microsoft was already doing touch, but except it wasn't with your finger, it was with a stylus. It was called Windows Mobile, and
Oh,
you was
I
using
remember that.
Trio. You remember the Palm Trios? Those
Uh-huh.
mainly for business and enterprise. So they just said, okay, since that's going on, so let's go ahead and switch it over. Instead of using a stylus, let's just use what God gave us and use your finger. So
right.
it become
Yeah.
an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? And then the same thing with the tablet. Microsoft had the tablet a long time ago. They just wasn't able to capitalize on it. Whereas, you know, the right time and Steve Jobs came again. Boom. Since we got the small iPhone, let's just make it bigger because everybody was saying, well, I wish I could just, you know, have something to touch on and view content. No, let's come out with this iPad. Boom. Blew up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They knew how to. They had the timing and they had the
They
ingenuity to do it.
it was pretty much marketed
Exactly.
and
They had the
because
marketing to get it
because
done, and that's always been Microsoft's issue because they're so enterprise specific and enterprise catering to where they don't know how to really cater to the consumers or communicate with the consumer as much as the enterprise. Enterprise is real practical. You just, hey, does it work? Did it get done? How did it make my life better as far as doing business? Oh, here you go, boom. That's it. You ain't really got to do a whole lot of selling.
Microsoft kind of fumbled at the beginning of this generation with that whole marketing thing. But in
Yeah.
my eyes, I feel like they're not doing bad with
No,
exactly what they did. You know what I mean? Like
no.
13 markets, 5 million. That's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all. That's really,
Yeah.
really impressive because it's really better than what they did with the 360. It's really outselling the 360.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
also, um, they finally got the right people that can be able to communicate with the consumer. With Phil Spencer and other guys that got in there, Satya Nadella, the guy from the cloud,
Yeah.
he actually
Yeah.
running it. He actually running
Right.
the company. So you're gonna start seeing what initially they were trying. Because you gotta understand also, this Xbox was supposed to launch with the cloud in tow.
Uh-huh.
It was That's why you had the always on. That's why you had the check-ins because with cloud, you're instead of just like with peer-to-peer, we're just going out used to the system going out to the internet, starting a session when you initiate the session. But with cloud, it automatically starts a session as soon as you cut it on. Just like you remember, you know how on your iPhone when you want to switch to another iPhone or whatever, or
Yeah.
you know, and it asks you, hey, won't you want to sign in to your account, to your Apple ID account? Sure. You sign into your Apple ID account, and what is it gonna do? It establishes a connection to the Apple Cloud to save your
Right.
contacts and save your all your your calendar and all that. The same thing with this. It's just on a little bit bigger scale, where it's now it's saying, okay, sign into your Xbox Live account. Boom. You gotta establish a session. Yeah, you got your saves, but also what it's gonna do is once you put that game in, it's gonna remember this session, go back and use processing power from the cloud to help bring in more NPCs on the screen, more richer environments, stuff like that. That's what the whole 10% of the Connect. That's why they was able to let the Connect use 10% of the processing power on the system because they had the cloud backing it up.
Right. So the cloud could have
The cloud, Right. So
Cloud could have
now,
took that 10% then plus some.
exactly.
Yeah.
So now it's actually going to benefit Microsoft because now they got the 10% back in processing power, plus they're about to bring the cloud out. So it's going to be that much more powerful once the cloud hits it officially
So in the near future,
in the near future.
we
Right.
seeing that the Xbox is going to be capable. Now, this is what most people are thinking about nowadays is resolution. So it'll be capable of running higher
Right.
resolution
Right.
like all
Stop
the time.
all the time, and the frame rates is already solid. They're getting the frame rate solid on the system now, which is real impressive. I think Microsoft doing a good job of getting people to the developers to get
Get the
that
frame rate
get the
instead
rate
of the
right. Cause
instead of the
just like
resolution.
right, just like I read an article with Pastor Padre, and he was talking about how the Madden version, Madden 15 version, um, looks better and has a more solid frame rate than the PS4, and that's because they're working with the devs to get it. They got their 10% power back, and then once they eventually get the cloud in, it's gonna just make it even that much better. And as well as DirectX 12, it's gonna be real good too. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be. It's gonna be subtle to the people like us that's playing it, but it's gonna be bigger
It's
deal for the developers because it's gonna help them be able to be easier to you know
right,
prepare
exactly.
for, to
Right.
create with, and that's a whole nother thing we could talk about too. If you want.
Yeah. No, I was trying to get into like more so of why Microsoft isn't talking about this. I was talking to Xbox 448. He was supposed to be here, but
Right.
he had an event going on. So, but we was talking about Windows 9. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody,
Yeah.
and I think Microsoft can't talk about DirectX 12 and the way they want, in a sense, they want to for the Xbox is because of they don't want to give away what's going on for um,
Right.
Windows 9.
Right. And
So
then because what it is, this is the deal with Windows 9. Windows 9, which is its threshold, it's going to be totally cloud uh, efficient. What it is, the thing about DirectX 9, what they're trying to do is, this is the first time where Microsoft is depending less on the operating system and more on the ecosystem as far as the cloud.
right,
So what you're going to see is with Windows 9, and what I'm hearing is they're kind of going to do kind of like an Apple. Instead of charging you $300 for Windows, they're gonna like make it free for certain devices, like devices under 9 inches, like tablets and phones and stuff. But then charge like probably like $99 for desktops. You know what I'm saying? Something like
right,
that. Because really they're trying to get away from being so software dependent as opposed to being a services company, and that's what they're trying to do. And what the big deal is with Threshold, aka Windows 9, I had to say that because they haven't officially announced it yet. But
right.
um,
That's the code name right there.
that's the
So
code name Threshold. What the big thing, what they're trying to do with Threshold is that what they're going to do is make it consistent on all platforms that they support. So basically, what they're going to do is they're going to make it the same on Xbox, the same on desktop, as well as the same on phones. So the same kernel, the same Windows kernel, Windows 9, is going to be on Xbox and on
oh yeah,
PC and on
yeah.
Windows Phone. So if a
Right.
developer develop a game on the PC using Windows 9 or
It's
Threshold, it'll
it's
be
all
able to it'll function right along on the Xbox One with little to no effort using processing of cloud because they'll develop it on the PC and they'll of course put on the cloud, and the cloud will tailor it to whatever device it needs to go to or they
right.
want it to go to.
And then I just have to like do a few things to it just to optimize it, right?
Just to optimize it, right? And that's what they're doing on the cloud backend. And so that's what they're trying to make themselves into a more of a services company as opposed to a software. I mean, they're still going to be software forever, but
Right.
they're just going to be more dependent on services because that's what everything is going. That's what technology is going. You know what I'm saying? Devices are becoming more expendable. You know what I'm saying? Where you got your phones, you break your phone, you get another one. As long as you got your ID, you know, so
Right.
you're able to function. You know what I'm
All
saying?
that exactly all
Right,
that stuff come
right.
right back.
Just like what the key example. I recently had got the Xbox at lunch, so I had to have signed in my my Xbox Live gamer tag and everything. Had that all set up. I was playing Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, and everything. So I ended up having to had to return the Xbox for a while. Return everything, and then when I got it back, I was able to sign into my gamer tag. When I got Assassin's Creed back, I put the game in. It instantly recognized my place, my saves, everything was on the cloud. It downloaded it. I was able to start back exactly where I left off when I last had the system. So,
That's right. Yeah. So that's why that's possible. Now, will
right.
PlayStation ever be able to do that? I ain't
Um,
gonna say ever, but how
yeah.
easy would it be for the PlayStation to be able to do it?
Well, I don't know exactly how easy it would be because I don't know how their Gaikai system is, and plus they seem to be more set on a streaming platform.
Right.
They think streaming seems to be where it's at, and you have your hits and misses with that only because it's so internet dependent. It's not really a handshake aspect where Microsoft is like, okay, they're still dependent on licenses as opposed to um, Sony just giving you access. So everything is on their server, so you got to go retrieve it. And recently, Sony's service record hasn't been the greatest, so I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work in the future, but hopefully
Right.
they can get that squared away. But
I
I
just
think
real quick to clear it up though. You just say like it's internet dependent streaming service. What
right,
about cloud? Cloud is pretty much internet dependent. Or
it is, but it's different because it's based on sessions. It's not. I mean, even though they say always on, they say that so just to, I guess, um, I don't know, I guess they the obvious in the sense
right.
it's just them trying to say, hey, it's always on, it's always available for you because of course once you have your console plugged in, it's gonna always be on. You know what I'm saying? Because they set
Right.
it up and established it that way. You know, whereas I think the difference with Sony is you have to like establish a connection. Whereas with the cloud, once you're signed in, your connection is established. It's signing with the cloud.
All right, real quick, I want to welcome my homeboy Kid Smooth. What's going on, brother?
Oh, what's up, Rise? Oh, what's up, Christopher? I ain't even know
What's
you were in here, man. What's up,
yeah,
man?
what's going on with your kids,
I'm
Smooth,
good.
man?
What's up,
Going,
Fame?
what's
I'm
going
waiting
on,
for that
Smooth?
rematch, man. Waiting for that rematch.
Hey, man, whenever you want to get it.
I'm sorry, but I was trying to get into this for a minute, but I'm a little bit lost on what we're talking about.
Well, so far we're still beginning. So we're talking about basically the Xbox capabilities and what we think it's going to be in the future.
Mhm.
I got Kingsman talking about exactly what he know about, the hardware of the system and not only just the Xbox, but computers in general. You want any thoughts or you have any questions, bro?
To be honest, no. I had just had a moment on Twitter. I don't know, but it's nah. But I don't have. I don't know. Too, I'm so lost on what's going on right now. After like Sony being hacked, I kind of just like, you know what, fuck it. I'll let whoever damage control. Um, but yeah, no, like right now, no, I don't have any questions regarding either of the consoles right now. But
Uh, Yeah, we were just saying like the cloud is supposed to improve. Hopefully, sometime soon. I really want to see more about the cloud though. But
Yeah.
it's supposed to improve what it's capable of, and the fact that the Xbox only using half its capability at this point in time.
All
I'm
right.
not sure about the PlayStation. I'm not sure if it's using a portion of its power or what it's capable of. I'm sure it can do more than what it is now. Of course,
I
down
don't
the
think
line,
so.
but
Question though, my
what's up?
question's been about the clouds. I always heard like cloud power, cloud rendering. Is it some point like are they talking about that they can like process like render graphics using the cloud and whatnot?
Well, you can offload some of that information on the cloud. You can use it to power more or less. Put it like this: if you got Assassin's Creed like Unity that's going to come out,
Hmm.
if they use the cloud, they can basically put more NPCs on in the world, make more birds in the sky, make the environments a lot more realistic, um, and all that type of stuff. So as far as it makes the environment that much more real. So as far as graphics, yeah, you can put some graphics processing. Also, you can put some CPU processing out there, and it'll offload it as well. You know what I'm saying? So it has that capability. But it's still still it's like a partnership between the hardware and the cloud. To make things possible. But it's
Hmm.
dependent on the developers mainly if they
Okay.
decide to use it.
And
But it's always available. I think there's going to be a major push for Microsoft to really use cloud in all its games, especially with the dedicated servers and stuff of that sort. But yeah, you can use it for cloud for processing as far as your CPU and graphics and stuff like that.
yeah, that's what I'm waiting for, man. That's exactly what I'm waiting for. But I don't know. I think some of these developers are a little bit scared, or not that they're scared, is that you know how some of them be preaching parity. I feel
Hmm.
like if they decided to use the cloud or take advantage of the SRAM, or take advantage of the new dev kits, that the parity would be in favor of the Xbox. Because if you can do so much, like share so much workload using the cloud on the
Hmm.
Xbox, and then do what you can do on the hardware,
Hmm.
it will probably blow the system out of the water. Because you got to think about, you can match the PS4's capabilities just on hardware alone on the
Right.
Xbox. That can
Right.
happen. Now include the cloud,
Yeah.
there would be no such thing as parity. So that's why
Exactly.
I think we would probably just be limited to what we get on like first party IPs and exclusives and whatnot. Because imagine what they would do with games like Madden. Like I always thought
Right.
about like crowds and
Right.
grass and like the
Right.
like all the stuff. They got so much stuff they can do
Right.
that's available to them, but that damn parity.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
Cal,
mean, you starting to. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
Now,
ahead. Yeah.
Calvin Brennan, I know that's a good homie of mine. He said the PS4 wasn't built for cloud computing. The
Right.
CPU and GPU doesn't do any offloading. I just wanted to include that.
Right. That's correct. That's correct. Because like you said, they're using more or less for streaming. That's why they bought Gaikai. They want to put their library on the internet basically and stream it back to. They want to be able to basically use their PS4 as a thin client. And a thin client, all it is basically a dummy terminal to host or bring in content from off their mainframe or their servers or whatnot.
Right.
So that's why they're pumping PS now real hard because that's basically what it's doing. It's basically taking the games that's on the server and streaming it back down to the PS4. Because after a while, it won't even matter. That's why they got it. They're pumping this so hard because they want to be able to get outside of just producing the hardware and put it on the TVs and put it on the Vita and put it on
Right.
and all that stuff. And because they feel like that's the way to go. And it might be. I just don't know if you know.
Yeah,
It's,
it's not a bad
yeah.
idea at
Yeah.
all. I like the whole idea of streaming it.
Right. Right. Yeah. But you tend to lose a little bit or that power that they proclaim, they want to, hang the hat on as far as the PS4 is concerned.
So you lose a little bit of what the PS4 is pushing out. So
Well,
you don't
yeah,
get to use.
yeah, because if it's based on the internet, then you really don't need a hardware pushing it because you're taking it. It's like it's basically you just streaming it through the PS4.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're not really using this hardware necessarily to stream in information off the internet. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like uh, streaming YouTube on your phone or
Right.
something like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
depending on how the quality that you pick depends on how much it works or whatever.
All that power and they can't even use it.
So, but I think that's why I think cloud is the better way because you still even now you see with the games like EA Access you download the game still you know what I'm saying so you're still using the capability of the hardware
Yep.
But you just create the session to be able to process that back end power of that game you know what I'm saying and that's what makes it even more richer world or whatnot. I mean, just look at Madden 15. I mean, you can see the difference as far as the lighting and on the Xbox One as opposed to the
Looks
PS4.
a whole lot better on the X1. And you
Yeah,
notice a lot of people say, it's because a lot of those games on PS4 are the multiplayer 1080p. A lot of those games still look better as far as the lighting and texture on the X1.
right. Because S1 can handle the frame rates. It can handle whereas PS4 has had trouble handling frame rates at a stable rate. Except for like first party games or whatnot. But most of the games you're gonna see some
All
frame
that
rate issues.
power and you can't even handle frame rates. Shut
It's still a
But
good system, but right now the advantage that PS4 have is because it's easier to program for the developer
Right.
because they're using the GDR5 and it's all just one big old pot of cache memory that they can just throw stuff in and they can just
Right.
get all the graphics power out all at once. They ain't got to go through all this rigmarole and all this stuff.
Right.
But
They don't have to. They can't. They could just pull whatever
right,
memory they need and
right,
it's just a pool
and just
of
right,
memory.
right.
Um,
Right. And then plus, I mean, you gotta understand too, this is what people don't realize. The PS4 is really just a gaming system, period. It's not really a really all-in-one system like the Xbox One is.
right.
So, it's basically it's like a PC versus server. Because really, and this is another thing I wanted to kind of clear up with the Xbox One.
Yeah, we was
Really,
talking about this
we
too,
was
though.
talking about your Xbox One is really a server the way it functions because you got to look at it. The reason why you cannot take out your hard drive, exchange your hard drive, your internal hard drive, is because it has 3 operating systems on the hard drive, and it's using virtualization technology. And their virtualization technology is called hypervisor, which is Microsoft's own virtualization technology. It's really codenamed Hyper-V, and that's what I
Right.
work with at work. And Hyper-V is really it's stable, but is finicky as well. If you do too much, if you try to move too much or whatever, it can get unstable and it get corrupt or all that. Because really it's just one big old VHD file. You know what I'm saying? It's one big compressed file or
Right.
whatever. So, but what it is, you have on the hard drive, you have an operating system with the hypervisor host that hosts the 2 other operating systems. So you have one main operating system on the hard drive, which is the host operating system, and then you have another virtual server that only deals with games, and then you have the other virtual server that only deals with apps. So that's why you're able to go back and forth with Snap. That's how you're able to watch TV and play your game. That's how you're able to do YouTube and play, you know what I'm saying? Do all this stuff.
Man,
Still
shit like
Twitch
that,
and
I
Party
just
and stuff like
love
that. Yeah, yeah,
watching the Twitch stream and playing your game at the same time. It's
right,
yeah.
right. Because you got 2 operating systems doing that at the same time, and then you have another operating system controlling everything and making sure everything functions. You know, so that's why people don't understand. That's why they were like, man, why we gotta just do external hard drive? You want to do external hard drives, and plus it's better for you anyway because it's actually faster using USB 3.0 to load the games on your external hard drive because it's using USB 3.0
It
and
speeds up
performs
load
better.
times too
Right,
because of the
right,
reason, right? Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So it functions faster, in that sense. And then plus it's expandability, so you're not really held to, like with the PS4, you're not held to just using like a 1 terabyte, 1.5 terabyte drive in the form of a laptop hard drive. You know what I'm saying? You can use, you know, 10 terabit hard drive, slap it on the back of your Xbox One, and you got 10 terabytes.
Now, it's supposed to be 16 at like the
Yeah,
max.
That's a max, yeah.
right. But I'm just saying this, for example, 10. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, I
you
was just
have
saying
like
that
2 5.
because that's a shit ton of memory right
Oh
there.
yeah,
So you know what I mean? Like,
and you'll get more and more. It's getting higher and higher every year. I mean, after a while, you gonna have about 20 terabytes, and it's
right,
easier for Microsoft to make. Okay, so let's make it higher. Let's make it 25 terabytes as the limit, and it's a matter of just a keystroke as opposed to having to redo a system. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So that's the flexibility that you get with Xbox.
Now, real quick though, because I know we running up some time here.
Oh,
I want
sorry.
to talk about no, it's cool, it's cool. Just that's why I wanted you on the
Yeah.
podcast because we knew we gonna burn some time. But the future updates. Now, what you think is gonna happen as far as like future updates for the Xbox before the year ends?
For the year end, I think they're going to, of course, they're going to give us DLNA support. Right now, you can still kind of do it, but you have to initiate the contact. Whereas in DLNA, it just recognizes you know how on Xbox you could just one time get it synced with your PC and it'll automatically keep a record of all the movies and your music and stuff. That's DLNA.
Right,
Well, right now, if you have a movie on your PC, you have to actually initiate it by, right-clicking on the movie, tell it to go to the Xbox, and it'll play it like that. Well, that's just, syncing. But DLNA will keep actually recognize your system, recognize your hard drive or your NAS or whatever you have in your house, and it'll see it and keep a record of it and just play it, by choosing it. So that is going to be big. I think you're probably going to see, let me see. I think you're probably going to see most of the changes that you see now as far as the TV. I think that TV streaming is going to come quicker than what they think they're going to do. Right now, I think it's a lot of licensing issues, what they say, but I think they're going to try to get past that as quick as possible. Try to
right.
get that here, pretty soon.
Now I've been wanting voice messaging back so bad.
Yeah.
You know, I have a theory on that. For some reason, and I could be wrong, and I don't want anyone who's watching the stream to say, "Oh, Dave said this is going to happen." Take it with a grain of salt. For some reason, I think that we're going to be able to cross chat with the Xbox 360. There's no other reason why we can't voice chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Well,
mean, that's a basic messaging they had on 360. PlayStation has it. Why wouldn't they implement it now? I think there's going to be some way to voice chat between 360, like we can do with the regular, texting chat back and forth. I think they're going to. I think they're trying to find a way to be able to voice message to the Xbox 360, which
That's
I think is cool.
say fame. That's thinking outside the box. I would have never thought of that though.
that'll be cool. I think they're gonna have only reason why I say I think they might have trouble with it is because they're using two different protocols. They're using, of course, they're using stereo, but they're using WiDi protocol with the Xbox One as opposed to I think the what are they using? Crap, they're using some other protocol for the audio, and they really don't really
They're not compatible.
They're not really compatible. So, but it might be a way to do it. If once the cloud comes in or whatnot, or how they can, get it done. But I think they're probably trying to as fast as they can, try to get away from it in the 360 as far as the way things looking. I think they're trying to get everybody on the Xbox One as fast as possible. You know.
Right. Well, they gonna really need this drop game support for certain games soon
Yeah.
for that to
That's why
happen.
you're seeing all these games come out.
Yeah, backwards compatibility helps.
You see, of course, you got your Grand Thefts and you got your Metro Redux and all this stuff. That's why they're re-releasing all these games that was on 360 on Xbox One because they're trying to make up for backwards compatibility without having to give you backwards compatibility. You know what I'm saying? They're just trying to give you, they give you the sleeping dogs and stuff like that, and all that because they know they really they probably could do something about backwards compatibility, but they really don't want to. They really want to move forward, but they don't want to lose everybody, that's on 360 to PlayStation or something, because PlayStation has a semblance of backwards compatibility using PS now. So, that's what they're really doing. But I think they're going to improve all. They really need to improve voice party chat even more. Make it a little bit more stable.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and do the voice chat and voice messaging on the Xbox One. I think what they're going to try to do is make the Xbox One the 360 before the end of the year. So when the push comes for, when your new games, your Quantum Breaks come out and all that stuff comes out, they don't want any excuse for you not to come and be on the Xbox One because they got everything that the 360 does and more in a sense. Because that's what they're doing. They're just trying to catch it up to on the level of 360 as far as functionality.
I think what's gonna happen. I mean, these aren't outside the box, but they're like what I'm looking for. I think they're gonna update Upload Studio so it can be like a beast. Like you could do a lot more stuff. Like I see them adding like a green screen type option and more editing features. You know what I mean? I see them adding the voice message support and then the digital the background changes, like being able to change your background.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see that too sooner than later.
Yeah, I know they said a lot of other stuff coming, like small shit, like screenshot and stuff like that. I like to see stuff like that coming too.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe that they have yet to announce yet, but they're gonna really try to. Because I mean, you look at this update; it's really like 2 or 3 updates in one update.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Compared to the other updates that have put out, I mean, this is a huge update, and I think if anything, they're probably gonna come out with another update by September coming so early, still in August. I think they're gonna probably come out with another one mid-September.
It's like with all these updates, it's almost as if this year is the real launch of the Xbox One.
Exactly.
The console now is what it's going to look like for the launch this year. Yeah. We're getting the real launch of the X1 this year.
Exactly. That's what further proves my point as far as they really should have just waited till this year to launch because they would have had the momentum really on their side, to going into, all the other markets as well, would have been a greater push,
Yeah, I think it was a good idea. I mean, it wasn't a good idea to launch when they did because, of course, it was rushed to death. But I think given the competition, elite, and that goes to both of the competitions. That much of a head start.
It's gonna have an extended life cycle, though. That's the only good thing you can take out of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna have an extended life cycle.
Yeah, it's gonna at least this generation is gonna be at least 10 years, maybe even 12.
Wow, I don't know about 12.
I say 12 because the only reason why is because of the push to digital.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that they're trying to push digital games and eventually, I'm telling you this right now, once they implement some sort of, if they implement the family share plan again, as far as what they were trying to do initially, or some sort of game trading, game
Yeah, that's
swap, some kind of game, something to entice people to kind of get away from dependence from physical over into a more of a mixture or dependence on digital. That's when you're gonna really see, what I'm saying, it really just push forward.
I
Now,
think
see,
that's fundamental because the way they had it up, with the DRM,
Right.
this will help people push people
Exactly.
in the right direction. So I think they should be
Exactly.
working on some type of way. I buy all my games digital, and I would like to be able to trade them or
Right.
get some type of uh,
Right. Microsoft points. I
yeah,
mean, or something
something.
like
now
that.
see,
That would be
in all
awesome.
honesty, I'm thinking 10 to 12 too, for the simple fact that I think we may have one more generation of an actual dedicated console.
Right.
Maybe after that, it's going to be your Sony TV or
Yeah.
your Windows tablets, what you're going to game your Xbox on. Everything's going
Right.
fully digital.
Right.
I don't think this is our last cycle with dedicated hardware, but I think maybe one more, and then that's it, guys. There's no more dedicated console hardware. I think everything's gonna be completely digital. You're gonna be playing your 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 PlayStation games on your Sony TV.
Right. Because you got to think about it like this too. Microsoft spent $3 billion with a B on just the hardware of the Xbox One.
Hmm.
And that's not including the another billion they put on games. So if you're gonna spend that type of money, you're gonna want to get your money's worth out of it, and it's gonna take at least that long of a time to at least recoup that amount of money out of what you put into it. I mean, 3 billion is something. Even though I mean, for them it's something they just sneeze at, but I mean, it takes time to, especially if your hardware sales are kind of slow compared to other consoles, you're gonna try to get the most out of it. That's why they're, doing the bundling and all this stuff,
That's
trying
gonna
to,
help so
yeah,
much.
yeah, because that's why you're seeing the bundling as far as you getting the game for free and all that stuff to try to entice to really sell the hardware so they can get their money.
Yeah.
So they're trying to, I think they will, but I think it's going to take a full 10 years for them to really get their investment back. Because they took a big hit with 360 as far as the red ring. It really hurt. So they're trying not to do the same thing with Xbox One.
Oh, it's working so far. My shit
Yeah.
run like a champ.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Mine do too.
But yeah, let's talk about Madden real quick. I probably had the most fun with Madden I had in years.
Yeah, Madden's back, baby. It's back.
And,
Madden is back.
well, I got Kid Smooth here, man. Y'all, let's start with Kid Smooth. Your first impressions, Madden 15. Let's go.
Oh my God! If you haven't seen my please watch it. But no, really, I gave Madden 8 out of 10 for graphics and gameplay, pretty much solely. I feel like it was one of the Maddens you can just pick up and play.
Right.
It's just one thing they did about with this Madden is even though it's very detailed nowadays, even from like gameplay and teaching you how to play and whatnot, it is easy to pick up and play. Not saying you're gonna win a lot, it's just easy for the casual gamer to come in and play it, and it's very fun. I haven't found any really like super flaws that annoy me with the game, but I've been hating on Madden for years. It's been the first time I've been excited for a Madden. I mean, I bought Madden in the past and like I got it because it was politics. I had to get it. You know what I mean? It's like a Call of Duty type thing. You get Call of Duty because everybody's gonna get it. But this is the first time I got Madden and was happy about the purchase and enjoyed playing it. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy what they did with it. And the thing is, not only with Madden, but like with NHL, I don't know if anybody played the demo.
Yeah.
With FIFA, I don't know if anybody played the beta, but EA is doing their thing this year. So I don't know if anybody didn't get Madden yet. You gotta check it out. I just got convinced my friend to go get it. He's gonna get it tomorrow. He was gonna wait much later, but he's gonna get it tomorrow. So I can't wait to get all of us together in these connected franchises and fantasy things. So I'm definitely waiting for that.
Man, that Madden, bro, I put in so much time in that skills challenge. Whatever it is. I'm surprised I'm not through that motherfucker now by now. But yeah, I haven't really played Madden since like 05, 06. I think that was the last time I really had fun playing Madden. And this
Because they
time,
kept putting stupid shit in the game, like quarterback vision and shit like that.
Yeah.
well, when I was playing it, that was like the beginning of that stuff, like quarterback vision, which wasn't really a bad idea in my eyes. Um, but you know, it's just it's easier to pick up and play. Like I remember, Madden 25, I was throwing. Every time I try to throw the ball, it's like it's a wild throw because you gotta, plant your foot and stuff like that. And it was just, I think they was stretching it a little bit too far. You know what I mean?
But 15 is legit. I mean, I'm still the best.
You still the best, man.
I'm still the best. Anybody want to get beat? It's Insane Wayne 2K6. Ask Kid Smooth, like you like to say. Ask him. ask him how Insane get down.
Don't rant.
The Kingsman kicked my ass the other day, man. I ain't even want to say shit, man. I was like,
well, for me, man, I was a 2K guy. I came up, back in the Dreamcast from 2K, and the last Madden I really enjoyed was on the original Xbox, OG Xbox. Mm-hmm. And from then, when they came over to 360, it was always I just never really could get into it. But this is the first Madden that I actually went up to a midnight lunch to get, and I think it's a really good Madden, man. It's not necessarily this. You could play a sim. It's not necessarily a sim in all aspects, but I think it's as close as we're probably going to get for Madden. It's really an enjoyable game, though. The graphics are amazing. I enjoy it, and that's all you can really ask for. I mean, it's football. I love football, and that's it, man.
Yeah, they really. I think this Madden's kind of really focused on play calling.
Oh yeah,
It's like play calling and then if you have like the fundamental skills like the tackling, like the juke moves and stuff like that, then you're gonna be a beast top of play calling. But the play calling goes deep. I mean,
didn't I fake you out in that game?
The little fake out, man.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it is, it's like one thing I love about it this year. It's like they really brought in the football concepts into the game.
Yeah.
And if you really know football, if you play football and kind of know the concepts, man, you can really dominate in this game if you knew it. But it's just a matter of you knowing it. But it does a good job of teaching you the concepts. That's why I'm really impressed with it.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to say. Like, it makes you want to learn those concepts because, I have no defensive play calling ability at all. But I was up there like, I'm going to figure this shit out.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing. It's a good game, man. I'm impressed.
All right, TGS, guys. What's going to happen?
I hope something, man, because that list wasn't too impressive. I still believe them when I say they have a few surprises. I'm pretty sure.
That was a leaked list.
Yeah, I mean, has that list been confirmed? Anybody know?
No. But think about it. E3's list of confirmed games weren't too impressive. Neither was Gamescom. It was just what they actually showed that made it kind of like, oh crap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
to show Rise and just like, I'm like, come on, man.
But it's Japan though, man. The console would just be launching with
for the first. That's true.
For China. Yeah,
it's
China.
It's 2 weeks after it launches in Japan, and I think it's around the same week that it launches.
Now, see, they need to show all of that back and they have over there. They need to show it with games because Japan is big for Xbox. I know Xbox doesn't really do well over there, but they need Japan because Japan is equivalent to PlayStation 4. So all of those backend they have over there and all that, they need to show some real, some JRPG, something to get those guys going, man. And honestly, I think because Japanese they love dance, they love dancing. I
Yeah.
think I think Dance with the Spotlight will go over really well in Japan.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
without a doubt,
It's
without
gonna
a
kill
doubt.
over there. Yeah. I
I
think
think
that.
the whole connect gonna just do well over there.
Because they like weird
Yeah.
shit, man. Not to be racist,
Right.
like, they
Right.
like weird shit over there, And the
Yeah.
Connect is
Yeah.
it's a little quirky.
Yeah. Yeah. They love that quirky stuff, man. I mean, I think that I didn't quite initially. It kind of threw me that they weren't gonna do a conference, but I don't know exactly how what Tokyo Game Show is. I think that it's open to the public, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's open to the public, then it doesn't really matter. Um, I think that they can, like they said, I heard they're gonna do like a 24-hour live stream of the games and stuff and the announcements. So they're kind of doing a Nintendo in a sense, what they did at E3, just kind of showed the video or whatever, and they're just gonna kind of broadcast from there. And I think what they're gonna do is just kind of do a show and prove type of deal with Japan this time instead of just doing a conference and hey, you go to games and y'all enjoy it. They're gonna actually just kind of just focus on the games and just let the games shine and then just announce, you know, what they're gonna
Right.
do or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's in development. I think they're gonna have some big surprises. I'm hoping for Shimu.
Everybody
Oh,
is.
shoot.
Oh, Shenmue 3? Oh, man, I would piss
Shenmue.
myself, man.
Even
I'm
if it's a remake, I'll take that. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
tired of getting my hopes up for that game.
Yeah,
so.
I'm trying not to. That's the thing I don't want to do. I don't want to set myself up for failure and be disappointed. I'm just hoping the surprises measure up to the hype.
You know, if there is a Shenmue 3 showing, I just don't think it'll be this year.
Yeah,
I
I think that game will be too big,
Yeah.
not to show it at E3.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I always wonder, like, where's people coming up with this Shimu, this whole, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's been a lot of
I
little
think with leaks, there's a lot of truth to them. There's some
Yeah.
truth to them, even
Yeah.
if with the, the bullshit.
Yeah,
Nobody had to like think of it before, right? And
Right.
So
'Cause just
I'm
like with
trying
the
to figure out
Crackdown,
where
I
this
mean-
come from.
yeah. Just like with Crackdown, there was some stuff that kind of leaked out, and people, kept mentioning Crackdown and stuff like that. It was kind of the same way with Shimu.
And I'm against all these remakes they're making, but Shenmue, if they remake Shenmue, I will go spend the $60 for it.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
I never played Shimu, so
Oh man, you're missing out, dude.
That was a good game,
That's
man.
good stuff.
well,
Yeah.
hopefully I get.
Yeah. I think I was a GameCube guy when that came out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
But
Yeah,
it came,
my
it
system,
came out
man.
on the Dreamcast as well too, though.
It's a
Didn't it?
Gamecast.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I said I was playing on a GameCube when Shamnu was like
Right.
out. You know what I mean? I was playing on GameCube and PS2.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Yeah, but I think they're gonna have enough to pique the interest of Japan, and then also, China. Soon they launch in Japan. China's coming next, so they're gonna kind of do both. I think, in one showing in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're in Japan, they're gonna be showing things that I think will appeal to China as well.
Yeah, I think they're gonna tear it up in China, man. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
That they're gonna tear it
I
up
think
in
they-
China.
I
Y'all
think
want to predict
that
some
market's
sales
hungry.
numbers for the month of September?
What was that?
Y'all want to predict their sales in the month of September?
We know how that worked out with you in the past, Kiss Move.
$50. But honestly, I think they're gonna sell. I wouldn't be shocked if you see 500K off the bat in Japan. I don't know, man. I just think they're gonna have a really good launch. I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
My boy Calvin coming through again. Shenmue was trademarked the same day as Phantom Dust in Japan.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about.
So that's probably where those rumors came from. So
That's what I'm saying, man. Where smoke is fire.
exactly.
Yeah, I think as far as the sales is concerned, I think that by the end of September, I think they're gonna sell at least 1 million because, well, yeah, they're gonna sell 1 million easy because they launch in what 23 other countries. So I would say they're gonna at least sell about 2 million,
You think they'll sell 2-3 million in
two
that,
three
that
million,
in
because
that month
it's gonna
alone?
be a huge boost because they're launching in all the rest of the countries
That's true. So
this in September alone. So that's not even mentioning Halo coming out, and
yeah,
Halo that's a system
That's
seller.
gonna move some systems.
That's gonna put them on even with PS4, in my opinion. Halo is alone.
Thank you. God,
So
people made me feel like a fucking idiot, man. I'm out here
no,
saying like, Joe, they can catch up by the end of
dude,
the
they
year.
do.
And I
I
believe
say
it.
in September they'll push around um 1.7 million, and then I think they're gonna win like October, November, and December. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna
Yeah,
take out the rest
And
of the year
you
yeah,
talking
me
about the
too.
United States or you talking about worldwide?
Worldwide,
worldwide.
Okay.
they're gonna be even and probably surpass them by the time December comes. Because Halo, man, I'm telling you, they're doing a lot with Halo. They're doing too much with Halo for it not to be a system seller, man. They are giving Halo practically away to everybody and saying, "Hey, buy our system with this game." They're remaking all the maps. I mean, it's like, well, not all the maps, but mainly the Halo 2 maps. And I mean, they doing too much, man. They're doing
Yeah.
too much with it for it not to really. It's almost like a new game in a sense if you look at all the improvements and the upgrades and
Oh
stuff
my
like that.
God. I mean, what we seen at Gamescom.
Exactly, exactly. And then
If
and
you
then
show me that in
hey,
the trailer, I would, as a demo, I would
yeah.
just buy it on the spot.
I mean, yeah,
I
yeah.
still think the biggest overlooked aspect of this Halo thing is the fact that beta is 3 weeks long.
Thank you.
That is a huge beta.
That's gonna sell systems by itself. That's gonna sell
3 week long beta. That's crazy.
exactly. And I mean, and people clamoring for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, that Halo is gonna shift everything, man. As far as for Xbox.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how it all works out by the end of the year. I'm so sick of people saying, not including information when they talk about these sales. But all in all, man, we should just game and
Yeah.
let them worry about marketing,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
selling consoles.
Yeah. They're getting it right. They're getting it together. So
Yeah,
it's gonna pan out. I mean, it's a long. Dude. This is a long generation. Anybody saying that, oh, if they do this is over or they do that is over,
yeah,
you speaking out of turn, man. I
yeah.
mean,
They
it's
don't know what
too.
to talk about. Yeah,
You're speaking out of turn, man. It's 10 years strong at least
I
for
think
these systems, man.
Microsoft has it right too, in my eyes, and I say that in a sense was somebody said, I think it was Woody Gamertag actually. He said, PlayStation looking for a percentage of gamers out there, which isn't big in the world. You know what I mean? It's not
Hmm.
it's not a huge number,
Right.
but Xbox is looking for a percentage of people with TVs,
Exactly. Exactly.
which makes more sense. And
Right. Right.
I think the
Right.
features alone will sell me on the console, sell people on
Right.
the console.
I mean, because you gotta look at it like this, and this people, I made a video about this as well, man. That the Xbox One is more than capable, man. It can do 4K native on the actual machine.
See,
I've done a video.
I heard somebody argue that it can only upscale to
That's what I heard. It was upscale.
Now
yeah,
I got a video on my channel about 4K. I'm telling you, go look at that video. I got an article where Microsoft themselves, even Larry Herb, is stating that they can do native 4K and upscaling.
mm,
Well, I mean, it'll definitely be with DirectX 12, cloud computer. It'll take
Right,
all of that because I
right,
mean, it's
right, right. It's well, it's got the hardware. It's got an actual video codec chip in there that does 4K. That's hard encoded. So it's got the hardware to do it. That's why they gave you the 4K cable to go with the system. Remember
right.
when they unboxed it, said, "Here go a 4K cable right here, boom."
Yeah,
because
people.
it does it, from off the rip on the hardware, but they just don't have they ain't got the games yet. They don't have the content yet. And I
Right.
heard recently that Netflix is about to start doing 4K content,
Ooh.
so that's gonna really be huge too for it.
Right.
So and then
Yeah, because
plus they're about
I don't
to
think there'll be any issue of it running 4K video. I think that'll be,
right, right.
because that's what I really thought when I saw the 4K cable. I was like, this must be for video. That's the first thing I thought
Mm.
was
I always,
No,
I always
for
thought
video.
for movies and videos too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
it is.
I,
I think it's for gaming too, but they just haven't got there yet.
I
It's
think the better
integrated.
idea is to instead of thinking about 4K gaming, it just when they can, they
Yeah,
should run them just a bit above 1080p,
yeah,
like kind of like YouTube doing. I think you can go up to like 1440.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that'll be perfect. Just
yeah.
a big fuck you to Sony.
And when it comes to my games, you
Mhm.
could give me 900p. If you give me a
Right.
lock 60 frames per second, I could
Yeah,
give a down with that resolution.
yeah. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I'd rather have. That's what we really be fighting for: 60 frames as opposed to
Yeah.
4K.
Yeah. People worry about resolution.
That way,
We
yeah,
need 60 frames per second.
My
exactly.
boy Kev West said something that was real. I thought it was a great idea, and he was saying that both systems, not just Microsoft, but both systems should just because they got upscale chips
Right.
in the both the consoles, and they got great upscale chips. He said they should just have the just set them all to 720p.
Hmm.
And just work on that 60 frames per second every game. You
Right.
know what I mean? Just upscale them to 1080p.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know how possible that is, but you know what I mean. But it sounds like a great idea.
Well, I mean, because you get more textures, more lighting. You get a lot more smooth. You know, you're able to do more when you don't have to reach that 1080p threshold, as opposed to 60 frames per second, where it's going to give you the smoothness and the fluidity that you want in your game. You know what I'm saying? And then the nice look. As opposed to a 30 frame per second game.
Right.
So. That's the main thing. And then plus with the 4K thing, we probably won't see 4K till the end of the generation because
Yep.
ain't a lot of people that got 4K TVs. They're too
Yeah.
expensive right now.
People barely got 1080p TV.
Right.
Exactly.
Talk about today.
Exactly.
Because I want my peace.
That's
Right.
crazy. People
Yeah.
run all about 1080p, but they don't have 1080p TV. It's crazy. Like you
Exactly.
have a 480 tube, and you read about 1080p.
Yeah,
Get out of
some
here.
two boxes times with 1080p. Nigga, sit your ass down. Got a little TV on top of the big TV action going, and you times some 1080p.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, but
Oh man.
you know, that's what we need to be fighting for right there, though. It's 60 frames, man.
But this podcast been going for a while, so I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. Y'all spit y'all little licks right here at the end of the podcast. Kid Smooth, tell them who you is.
You know who it is. It's your boy Kid Smooth. As always, as Kid Smooth. You know what I mean? So we doing it here big with Rise in this podcast. Hope you all enjoy.
Fame ENT.
Y'all just want to give a big thanks to you, Ross, for having me out here. I want you guys to check me out, youtube.com/Fame Entertainment 2K. That's FAMEENT 2K, man. I appreciate everybody.
And then my boy Kingsman. Y'all definitely got to check my boy Kingsman out, without a doubt.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Rise, man. Thank you, brothers, for letting me in. I appreciate it. I'm a new kid on the block, and check my channel out, man. Kingsman 2K. A lot of informative information about Xbox One and just a lot of information and facts. Trying to get past the hype and the propaganda, man. Just be good and stay tuned.
Yeah. So yeah. All the links will be in the description at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. You know who it is. It's your boy Rise. I'm out.